This is the DELLA Vario 36,000 British thermal units, 19 seasonal energy efficiency ratio 2, mini split air conditioner heat pump. It is the first system I have used that keeps my large open living space comfortable in summer heat and winter chills, while staying quiet enough that I forget it is on. I would put this in the ductless mini split category, and it is best for people like me who want strong whole room cooling and heating, without committing to full heating, ventilation, and air conditioning ducts. If you live with an open concept layout, or you have a big studio, or you are trying to tame a main floor that never stays even, this kind of system makes a lot of sense. It is especially appealing if you are sensitive to noise and you want smart controls without juggling extra gadgets. The indoor unit looks clean and modern. The body is slim enough that it does not dominate the wall, and the glossy white finish blends with most rooms. The display is subtle. It gives me the essentials without glowing like a billboard at night. The directional fins are not just decorative. They matter because I can aim airflow across the room instead of at my face on the couch, and the unit remembers the last angle I set. The remote is small but not cramped, with real buttons that you can find by feel. I care about that because I often adjust temperature in the dark while watching a movie, and I do not want to unlock a phone just to do it. Speaking of phones, the companion application is straightforward. I connected it to my home wireless internet and it synced right away. I also added it to Amazon Alexa, and the voice control has been reliable. I can say a temperature and mode, and it responds within a few seconds. Getting this installed was not a do-it-yourself project for me. The outdoor compressor comes pre-charged with refrigerant, and the line set needs to be vacuumed and sealed correctly. A licensed technician handled the wall pass-through, mounted the indoor unit, flared and connected the copper lines, pulled a vacuum, and then released the refrigerant. The kit in the box included the copper pipes and the basics, which meant there were no surprises or extra hardware store runs. The install did add to the overall investment, but once it was done, the payoff was immediate. I clicked the remote, set a target temperature, and within minutes I could feel a calm stream of cool air that actually reached the far side of my living room. On day-to-day use, the system is quick, responsive, and simple. The compressor outside ramps up and down smoothly. That is the inverter motor doing its thing, and it means the temperature glides to the set point instead of bouncing up and down. I like that the fan speed steps are useful. Low stays whisper quiet, medium moves real air without becoming a distraction, and the highest speed is there when I need to pull the room down fast after cooking or when the afternoon sun hits the glass. The application lets me set schedules, which I use for a gentle cool down before bedtime and a warm up just before I wake up. The I Feel mode is surprisingly practical. It uses the temperature reading at the remote, so when I am working at the dining table, it keeps that area steady rather than just measuring the air near the wall unit. In terms of core performance, the cooling power is serious. My living room and open kitchen add up to a big space, and portable air conditioners never kept up. With this DELLA, I set 74 degrees, and the entire area hits that number evenly, not just the space directly in front of the unit. The airflow is broad and even. It fills the room instead of blasting in a narrow tunnel. I have tested it on sticky days when the humidity felt high, and the dry mode took that swampy edge off within an hour or so without overcooling the space. Heating has been strong too. On cold mornings when the outside temperature dropped lower than I like to admit, I switched to heat, and the room felt comfortable by the time coffee was ready. I would not rely on it as the only heat source if I lived in a region with weeks of deep freezes, but for my climate, it has handled winter days and the shoulder seasons confidently. Sound is where it surprised me the most. The indoor unit at low fan is close to silent. The published numbers say around the mid-20s in decibels at the quietest setting, and while I did not measure it, that lines up with what I hear. I can watch television without adjusting the volume, take calls for work, and even record voiceovers in the next room without picking up drone or rattles. Outside, the compressor has a soft hum, but I had to walk over and stand near it to make sure it was running the first time. It does not annoy the neighbors and it does not overwhelm the patio. I put it through a few real scenarios to see if it would stumble. One test was a summer weekend with a full house. I had people at the dining table, cooking on the range, and others parked on the sofa near west-facing windows. The system held temperature with fan speed on medium and a small push from turbo for 15 minutes after the oven preheat. No one complained about hot corners or cold drafts. Another test was a late-night movie session. I set sleep mode, nudged the temperature up by 2 degrees to avoid overcooling, and left the fan on low. The sound faded into the background, and the room felt consistent until morning. I also tried the scenario of coming back from a few days away. I used the mobile application to start cooling 30 minutes before I got home. By the time I walked in, the space felt like I had never left the system off. A specific use case where it shines for me is working from home. My desk sits at the edge of the living room. That spot always used to be a little warmer because it is near the sliding door. With the adjustable louvers set to sweep and the I Feel mode using the remote by my laptop, the microclimate at my chair stays within a degree of what I set. That has actually helped me stay focused because I am no longer thinking about moving to a different seat in the afternoon. The smart features are not fluff. Voice control has been a real convenience when my hands are messy while cooking. I say a temperature, and it adjusts without me touching the remote. The application is stable and the layout is clear. I set timers for pre-sleep cooling and morning heat. Eco modes help shave power use during long days of steady operation. I also appreciate the attention to durability. The outdoor unit uses gold-coated fins to resist corrosion. That is not something you notice on day one, but it is the kind of detail that helps performance stay consistent through seasons of rain and humidity. Not everything is perfect. This is a real system, not a plug-in-window box, and it needs regular care. I clean the indoor filters about once a month during heavy use, and I vacuum dust around the intake. That small routine makes a noticeable difference in airflow and keeps the system efficient. I also learned that while the heat pump works well in my area, friends in places with long, deep winter cold snaps may want a backup heat source for peace of mind. Lastly, because installation needs a professional touch, you will want to plan for that as part of your decision. From scheduling to where the lines will run on the outside wall, to making sure the condensate drain has a proper route. After living with it, I have a clear picture of who should consider this. If you want quiet, steady comfort across a large room or even a small whole floor, and you want the flexibility of smart control without wrestling with portable air conditioners or window air conditioners, this fits that brief. If you value low noise, smooth temperature control, and a design that does not fight your decor, it will make daily life easier. If you live where winters are brutal for months at a time, I would pair it with another heat source. For everyone else, especially those in open spaces or additions where extending ducts is a hassle, this DELLA Vario has been a dependable upgrade. I will update specific information about the DELLA Vario 36,000 BTU 19C SEER2 mini split AC heat pump in the comments. Don't forget to catch my next video.